The fast and powerful machines of the Van Insurer Sportsman Elite 600s and the Bike Insurer GP1s visit Rockingham Motor Speedway for round 6 of the series. With a handful of championship contenders, let the elite take on the rock. This is Thundersport Elite.
Yes, welcome to Rockingham in Corby, Northamptonshire. There are 4 rounds left in the 2013 Championship, including this one. First up to take on Rockingham Circuit, the Van Insurer Sportsman Elite 600s. There's Craig Neve, number 14. He is a Formula 600 rider. There's a Superstock 600 rider, James Shaw. A class for 2 championships, effectively tuned Formula 600 machines, and Superstock 600 bikes, which are effectively out of the crate. Just a few minor adjustments made. Now, if all of the riders are being good boys and good girls, then Formula 600 bikes should be the machines with the white backing and blue numbers, and Superstock should be red backing and yellow numbers. There are a couple of exceptions out there. I'll let you pick them out. It's a decent start there, though, for Superstock 600 rider, the Triumph 675 of number 74, Curtis Wright, who shoots down to Dean Hairpin. This, the only anti-clockwise circuit on the calendar, so it does throw something different at a number of these riders, and you can see already that is the first right-hander on the circuit into Yentwood. So it's Curtis Wright that leads this race so far. In second there, number 66 on the Yamaha R6 Formula 600 machine. That is Daniel Freer, championship leader overall. Over 100 points his advantage to the next man, which happens to be Lee Williams, who is just up inside the top 3 there. Number 94, you can see there he is, the yellow and red Suzuki. Former Supermoto rider, thought about having a look up the inside of Freer there into Tarzan. The Kawasaki, number 4 with the white leathers, as I mentioned before, is James Shaw. Just ahead of him, the white and blue Suzuki 600, that's a Formula machine also. That's Richard McNeil from Northern Ireland, the Irishman looking to get himself some decent points this weekend. He missed out on points in the opening 2 rounds, so he's got a bit of catching up to do. Very talented rider overall. Not a good start for Craig Neve. He's back in 6th or 7th place there, I notice. And a couple of the other Superstock 600 riders maybe not off to a great start either, but Curtis Wright away with this one at the front. And here comes a move, perhaps just shooting over to the inside is Lee Williams there, down into the Dean Hairpin, and up the inside of Daniel Freer. There's another change there as the Kawasaki of James Shaw tries to get himself in the mix, but at the moment, pretty unfazed, unbothered. Curtis Wright has the lead as they head around Yentwood, this 90 degrees right-hander, and then around Chapman Curve. Oh, and we've got red flags. There must be an incident somewhere else on circuit. Red flags. That means we have a stoppage. There will be a full restart. So forget what you've seen. Time for a new start. Few gaps on the grid there for, I would imagine they are the riders that have gone down. Hopefully everyone okay, but away we go. Forget what you've seen. It's a good start this time for Daniel Freer. He gets away well, and Richard McNeil, he didn't get off to a brilliant start first time round, but he's capitalised the second time round, and it's a shame for someone like Curtis Wright, who originally in that first race was away with it, and now he's got all that work to do. So, and there's a good move there as Daniel Freer runs wide. Richard McNeil capitalises, he goes up the inside and now leads. We've got a Formula 600 in first and second. That's Sam Thompson up to third, number 50 on the red and black and white Kawasaki. He leads the Superstock 600 standings overall. That's a really close championship though. Keep an eye out for his title rivals. 54 Sam Cox, 4 James Shaw, 69 Ryan Dixon. Chris Helliwell is also out there, number 64. You can't miss him on the black and luminous yellow machine. But it's Richie McNeil, the Irishman, that has the advantage here, looking to add to the 25 points that he picked up here yesterday. And obviously we do move to Anglesey at the next round. Anglesey effectively, despite the fact that it's in North Wales, it is the closest round to Richard's home, but he runs wide down into the Brook chicane and allows championship leader Daniel Freer through. So Freer now leads from Richie McNeil. That's Craig Neve, having got off to a terrible start in the first race. It got restarted. He's made a better job of it this time. So they are your top three in Formula 600s. There you can see one of the exceptions to the number boards. Craig Neve there with the yellow backing and black numbers. But I can assure you he is a Formula 600 rider. Bit of a battle going on here at the front between Freer and McNeil. And this could well be the battle for the championship overall that you're witnessing, these three. Freer it is that leads from McNeil and Neve. Those three riders on Formula-tuned machines. And then in fourth there, doing a really good job, is number 50, Sam Thompson, the rider from Bournemouth, having a great time. Further back, decent effort so far from Lee Williams. Well, in fact, I say that, but where is Lee Williams? We've lost Lee Williams, and we've got another faller there as well. So we'll try and pick up on that. Lee Williams has gone absent, and Craig Neve, that must have been Craig Neve that fell earlier. So Craig Neve is out of it as well. So Richie McNeil now leads from Daniel Freer, and just coming around the outside there, taking a nice drifting line in to get himself as much drive as possible onto the school straight. That is Sam Thompson, and just behind Sam Thompson with the orange and blue leathers is Sam Cox. So Sam Cox, despite a slightly dodgy start, has got his act together and is catching. On to the start-finish straight we go again to complete another lap. And Richard McNeil, he's never seen this circuit before, so what a great effort it is from the Ulsterman as he leads across the line. Daniel Freer there in second. If he can pick up 20 points, he would extend his championship lead overall to Lee Williams, who it looks like has gone out of this race. Sam Thompson in third. Well, if he stays in third, he will extend his Superstock 600 championship lead, but at the moment he's making a challenge for second overall on Daniel Freer. No, he thinks better of it this time. There is Sam Cox, number 50, on the Kawasaki. Sam Cox and Sam Thompson. I'm going to get myself mixed up here. Cox is the rider on the Apprentice Racing Yamaha from Malden, number 54, just there in your picture with the orange and white leathers. But at the front of this one, McNeil tries to stretch his advantage. He pulls away. Daniel Freer there looks quite relaxed, and and he's running a bit wide, and a good move there from Sam Thompson. He didn't really have anywhere else to go. He had to commit to the inside line, and Thompson moves up into second place. And now Sam Cox, also on a Superstock 600 machine, fancies a nibble. Further back, Ryan Dixon is up in the top 6. Lewis Osler's having a good ride. Danny Osborne, number 102, Adam Clark, Paul Charman, Jamie Morris, all up inside the top 10. Across the line we go. McNeil it is that leads. He's leading the Formula 600 race. He leads overall. Sam Thompson in second there, currently leading the Superstock 600 chase. And what a great ride this is from Sam. But look at that, the other Sam is coming into play now, snaking down into Dean Hairpin and managed to get it stopped. But unfortunately for him, Daniel Freer just goes up the inside of him. So Freer regains third place. Just in the background there, Ryan Dixon looks to be a rider on the move. Is he just catching this group of riders? Let's have a look in the background there. It looks like he may be. And that's another fine move there from Sam Cox. An aggressive but fair and clean move. Sam moves up into third place. It doesn't move him up in the Superstock 600 side of things, but a good move for him. He can now get his eyes fixed on his championship rival, but he runs wide into Tarzan. He manages to hold on to it, shuts the nose, closes the door on Daniel Freer there. Daniel Freer just getting a bit beaten up. And Daniel's in one of those rare predicaments in a championship where he has a decent lead overall in the championship, having done so well at the start of the season. And it just doesn't look like he wants to take any risks. He'd rather take the points home, but by the time we get to the end of the season, he's going to have to keep a beady eye on Richard McNeil, because at the front, he is away with it. He's already got a 2 or 3 second lead. Sam Thompson there is doing his best to try and catch him. But at the moment, Thompson is on for a chunky 25 points to add to his championship tally. Sam Cox in second at the moment. Well, he's second overall as well, so he would just lose touch a bit in the championship overall. There is Thompson going through, number 50, Sam Cox and Daniel Freer, and just behind these guys. We've got Ryan Dixon, Lewis Osler and Danny Osborne having a decent ride. This circuit here at Rockingham, different to any other that we've got on the calendar. We go to 9 different configurations of circuits. We do go to Donington Park twice, but one is the national circuit, one is the GP circuit. We were out at Alton Park last time out. We come here to the East Midlands in Northamptonshire for Rockingham. Next up, next month, Anglesey in North Wales. And certainly for a lot of the Irish contingent that we have at Thundersport GB, that will be classed as their home round, of course, because the majority of them get the ferry across over to Holyhead in Anglesey. So not so far for these guys to travel, but what a wonderful ride this has been from Richard McNeil. And there's the checkered flag, and that's 2 out of 2 for him here this weekend at Rockingham. Job done for him. He really is climbing his way up the points table. He started the weekend well over 130 points behind, but it's a good win there for McNeil. He wins from Thompson. Thompson takes the Superstock 600 victory then. Cox is in 3rd ahead of Freer, Dixon, Osler. Osborne, Adam Clark in 8th on the Superstock bike, and then Paul Charman 9th, Jamie Morris in 10th. There they are then on the podium. That's the Superstock 600 podium. Sam Thompson, the winner.
Winner of the Superstock 600 race, Sam Thompson. Brilliant to see you back up here on the top step again, just like Brands Hatch.
Yeah, just like Brands Hatch. Hopefully we can get a few more of them. But race went well. Shame we got red flags halfway through because we was in quite a good position with a bit of a gap behind us. But luckily we got a good start on the front row after the rerun. So it went well after that.
Brilliant race. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, big thanks to Little Base Designs, my sister, my mum, dad, grandma, granddad, everybody else, just Strategic Financial Solutions, Road and Race Performance, Insignia Signs, everyone who's helped out and supported. Cheers.
Good race, well done.
Cheers.
And let's hear from the overall winner then, Richie McNeil, the Northern Irishman.
Winner Richard McNeil, a brilliant race for you there. You've had some good top 10 finishes all year, but your first win?
Yeah, first win here at Rockingham. It's the first time I've actually been to this circuit, so I've really enjoyed it. We got a full day's testing on Friday and got some good laps in, 0.5 off the lap record, so I knew I was going to be somewhere along the front at this race meeting, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
An excellent race for you. I hear you've got a couple of sponsors you'd like to thank especially.
Yeah, most of all I'd like to thank my dad and my sponsors, RJ's Car Restoration, Show Me Ireland for the helmets and stuff, and all the rest of the sponsors as well.
Well, it's a good race there in the 600s. Join us again after the break and we will bring you the bike insurer Thundersport GP1. Welcome back to Thundersport Elite here at Rockingham. Decent weather here today. We were expecting a bit of rain, but it looks like it's all passed over. We're ready for the bike insurer Thundersport GP1 class, the big bikes. John Ingram there, thumbs up, number 56 on pole, alongside former champion Phil Crow. There's Barry Teasdale, number 224, who's had a really good season so far. Away from the lights we go, and it's a decent start from the Ram. John Ingram, number 56, he heads into the chicane in first place with Barry Teasdale, number 224, up in second. This is a class for GP1 machines, the more powerful bikes, and then Superstock thousands as well, but they do score points collectively also. But Phil Crow there has just made up a couple of places, moved up into second, and in third there is Danny Murphy, number 123, current leader of the Superstock 1000 standings. So the two GP1 boys are at the front. John Ingram, oh maybe not, that looked like Phil Crow. Phil Crow's gone down. The 2010 Thundersport GP1 champion, the current points leader, has gone down and is out of this race. And do you know what? He only had an 8-point lead coming into this weekend, ahead of Danny Murphy, who's out there on stock machinery. So massive drama there, as we just see here. That's Ben Scranage, number 11, going up the inside of Simon Critchlow. And so it's nice to see Shea Burton is back out with us as well here at Thundersport GB. A high rate of attrition this weekend in Thundersport GB, and certainly in this class. We've got under half of the competitors remaining in this class to race than what we started out with on the Friday practice day. So hopefully they're all well, and we'll see them all back out at Anglesey. But we've gone from grids of about 30 plus down to not many for this weekend. So there's a lot of points and prizes on offer, as we just see there a glimpse of Danny Murphy, number 1, 2, 3. He's been struggling with bike problems. They've not been able to get the maximum power out of that machine this weekend, which isn't such a problem on the twisty bits, but certainly as they get themselves out of the banking and onto the circuit, that is an issue. And we've got another faller there, and that's Blake Walls. Number 19, Blake Walls, who was just up ahead of Danny Murphy and was going so well, and Blake has gone down. So, wow. Does anyone actually want to stay on the bike and win this? John Ingram here is your race leader overall, number 56. John, who entered this weekend in 4th overall in the championship. He will move ahead of Jenny Timnath into 3rd. John missed a couple of rounds in the season because of his TT duties. As we look further back there to see Rob Lelunik, who's one of the rookies in the class, and at the moment, if he can just stay on the machine, he's up for some points, because there are a lot of riders going down like skittles at the moment. But it's the Ram, John Ingram, who leads it. Here he is, experienced British Championship rider, done very well at the TT this year. It's been wonderful to have him as a part of the Thundersport paddock. And, well, he will fight for this championship all the way to the final round. This is the battle for Superstock 1000 supremacy, and at the moment it's Barry Teasdale that has the advantage over Danny Murphy. Danny licking his wounds a bit this weekend, but he will want to just take the points, having seen, of course, his championship rival Phil Crow going down on the deck. But Barry Teasdale, one of those riders, the rider from Prudhoe up in the northeast on the Bob Henderson Racing Honda. What an improvement we've seen from him. He is a reigning champion. He was the pre-national 600 champion last year, but it was his first season of racing. He's hardly seen any of these circuits. He's had to adjust to life on a 1000cc machine. And look at this, he's well on his way at the moment to picking up 25 points, and all that hard work could easily pay off with Danny Murphy there. John Ingram at the moment it is that leads, and Ingram will need to get himself as many points as possible for this weekend at Rockingham. I understand he won't be attending Anglesey our next round because he's doing the classic TT, so he needs the points, so he won't be all that disappointed to know that Phil Crow's on the deck. But both Phil Crow and John Ingram were a part of the charity cycle race that went on here yesterday at Rockingham. The cycle race which was in aid of Macmillan Cancer Support. And we had a number of our riders getting the Lycra out and doing the full circle loops here at Rockingham. All money raised was going to be matched by Thundersport GB, and well, there was actually £1,500 raised, so Thundersport have matched that, so it's £3,000 that's been raised and donated to Macmillan Cancer Support, so big thank you to everybody that donated. And in addition to that, £1,600 was raised for Sarah and Amy in the Thundersport paddock, who are sadly suffering with the illness. So great job all round, and many thanks to everybody that donated. Really kind hearts in the Thundersport paddock this weekend at Rockingham. But at the front of this race at the moment, John Ingram, number 56 it is, with the advantage. He's actually clearing off, and he's already broken the lap record. Barry Teasdale currently has it in second place, with Danny Murphy also fighting it out. I can tell you that a rider that's just getting himself up into the top 3 or 4 at the moment, as John Ingram just deals with some traffic, is Michael Neves. Nice to have Michael out there with us. You will know the name, I'm sure, Nevesy, an MCN journalist, so nice to have Michael out there. And from what I understand, having spoken to him, he's enjoying himself here at Rockingham. John Fisher's having a decent ride out as well. We saw a glimpse of him a bit earlier on, number 92. Jordan Watling is having his best weekend on the Superstock machine. He's picking up trophies. Matt Late, nice to have Matt out there. Just suffering a bit with confidence, Matt, at the moment. He's better than that. He knows it. I know it. And once he gets that confidence going, he is enjoying his riding. We'll be seeing him, I'm sure, picking up race wins. But here at the Rockingham, John Ingram leading the class, leading the way, pulling away. It's what he likes to do, you know. He's not, you know, he can mix it if he needs to. He's got excellent racecraft, but if you ask him, he'd probably prefer to build a big gap and clear off into the distance. But what about this man here? Barry Teasdale, number 224, our Northeast rider. Really nice guy, learning all the time. He's learned from the best, and at the moment he's on his way to some big points. Now, what's happened to Danny Murphy? Danny Murphy was behind Barry, and I wonder if he's just dropped him or whether Danny's run into some sort of trouble somewhere. I know he's been having big bike problems, and if that is the case, then that means that our top two in the championship will have dropped points, and John Ingram, well, all of his Christmases are going to come at once. But at the moment here, Barry Teasdale, who sits in 4th place overall in the Bike Insurer Superstock 1000 standings, he'll move ahead of Kingsley Ruddy, he'll move ahead of John Waghorn, and I should just send my regards to John, because I know he was involved in a really nasty accident here in testing for this weekend, and I think he's got a bit battered and bruised, and there is Danny Murphy. I wondered where he's gone, and he's off. And he's looking a bit hurt there, and there's another rider down with him. Now, who is that? I noticed that across the line last time out that James Boswell didn't come up on the timing screens. But I do hope that Danny's okay. Well, this is just adding to the attrition rate at the moment. What it does mean is that John Ingram in GP1s and this man here, Barry Teasdale, number 224, are well on their way to victory. Michael Neves would pick up second, so Michael, at his first ever Thundersport GB event, the rider on the BMW Park Lane BMW from Peterborough is on for a decent few points here. Waved yellow flags down into the Brook Chicane, so just a bit of a wary moment there for Barry, but nice and easy does it as he heads back onto the start-finish straight. Great track configuration this. Thundersport came to Rockingham a few years back, and last year was the first time we used this circuit layout, and it really is excellent. The riders love it. But John Ingram, what a ride it has been for him. The man that has led from start to finish is going to pick up a monster 25 points here, as we just see. That is that accident from earlier we saw, Danny Murphy and James Boswell just being wheeled to safety there. Hopefully Danny is okay, because he looked like he was a bit hurt there, maybe a bit winded. But coming through, getting himself ready to complete this race. John Ingram just gets himself around Gracelands, the long, beautiful left-hander. Short stretch up to Tarzan now, the right-handed hairpin. Such a relaxed riding style, John Ingram. It doesn't even look like he's trying, but it's so effective, he's so quick. And he has just cleared off. It's going to be a win, it's going to be a lap record, and it's going to be a heap of points that he's made up in the championship overall, and that will delight him, considering he won't be at Anglesey. We'll see him next out at Mallory Park, and then Donington the finale. But it's been a good win here for John Ingram. He can stand up wheelie from the Ram. Easy as that. John Ingram wins the first GP1 race here at Rockingham. Decent effort from him. Barry Teasdale will be coming around the Brook Chicane any second now. He will take Superstock 1000 victory, and he does. Michael Neves, well, novice to Thundersport, but he picks up a trophy there in third. Ben Scranage in fourth. A really good result that for Ben Scranage on the Ducati, the Night Road Racing Ducati. John Fisher up in the top 5 again. Jordan Watling, Critchlow, Matt Late, Shea Burton and Rob Lalonek. There's your Superstock 1000 podium then. The winner, Barry Teasdale, alongside Watling and Lates.
Winner of the Superstock 1000s, Barry Teasdale. A brilliant podium for you here. So it's been a while since we've seen you on the top step.
It's really good to be back. I totally didn't expect to win a 1000cc race this year, but we've been chipping away all year, getting closer and closer at the front, so to do it now, really good. I couldn't believe it.
You've had some tough competitors this weekend, especially Blake Wolds and Danny Murphy. Did you see, and they came off in that race, but did you see them at all?
Yeah, they both fell off just in front of us. Everyone was pushing really hard, so we're all fighting hard and just little mistakes.
And let's have a quick word then with the overall winner, the Ram, John Ingram.
Well, John Ingram, a brilliant race for you there, and you had a good lead in that race.
Yeah, I think it's one of them weekends where it's just nice to get at the front, put a bit of a gap in and then control it from there without doing too much pushing. Hats off to Barry, he's doing well. Just like to thank Fred and Dennis Pallett. They've stuck by me this year doing the entries and stuff for Thundersport and one or two other things. But all in all, a good weekend. We've had some good charity fundraising things which are doing well as well. So yeah, all good.
Well, we're halfway through the show. 2 races down, but 2 still to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back straight after this break. Welcome back to The Rock. It's time for the Van Insurer 600 Sportsman Elite. And Richard McNeil looking to make it 3 out of 3 for the weekend. Can this man stop him? That's Craig Neve. James Shaw, well, he is looking for as many Superstock 600 points as he can. He's currently leading the pre-national 600 championship. That's a class you can catch here in Thundersport Plus in a couple of weeks' time on Motors TV. But away we go, and it's a really good start from James Shaw, actually, on the Kawasaki. He leads on the Superstock bike by the looks of things, or does he? No, right around the outside, the overall championship leader, Daniel Freer, the yellow and blue R6, the Formula 600 championship leader, has taken the advantage as they swoop down into this double apexed hairpin. Dean, you can take a number of lines into there and come out the other side okay, but it is Freer that's got away best. Curtis Wright off to another decent start there in second. James Shaw third, Lee Williams fourth, Sam Thompson fifth. That's Richard McNeil, your race 1 leader or winner. He's just going up the inside of Lee Williams. It's a really good start from Ryan Dixon. Chris Helliwell got off the line very well as well. I can see the black and bright yellow fairings just going through the bottom of the picture, number 64. We'll monitor his progress. Not such a great start for the likes of Sam Cox, who was on the podium in race 1, but he's just a bit further back. So a bit of work for him to do. Well, Freer's lead is short-lived. Oh, James Shaw on the Kawasaki there. Well, he had to be a bit careful. He almost wiped out the 2 leaders. But as it is, Curtis Wright has come out on top on the Superstock 600 Triumph 675. That is Daniel Freer just in second, James Shaw third, Sam Thompson fourth, Richie McNeil in 5th place, and Craig Neve, who started from pole, is in 6th place. So a bit of a sort of slow start for Craig Neve, but that is normally what happens. He does tend to struggle to get off the line, but then he comes on strong towards the end. Close race this one so far. I know there's only been a lap gone, but they're all bunched up. This does allow those riders that are down in maybe 9th, 10th, 11th just to close in, and I can tell you a race is a lot easier if you can keep the BDI pinned on the race leader overall, and they're all chopping and changing for position. But at the moment, as they exit Dean Hairpin and head down to the first right-hander on the circuit, Yentwood, it's Curtis Wright that leads, and Richard McNeil there, race 1 winner, just running wide and allowing Lee Williams, the former Supermoto rider, to go up the inside. Lee, chirpy character from Liverpool, always got a smile on his face round the paddock. He was one of the riders that took part in that charity cycle race, although from what I gather he cheated. He was going through pit lane, he was trying everything he could to win. The eventual winner, by the way, for those of you that are interested in the cycle race, was Dean Court, so well done to Dean. But it is Curtis Wright that leads this race. Look at this lot here, down into Tarzan. That's 6 abreast here. This is proper 600 racing. It's what we've come to expect over the last decade in terms of 600 racing, elbow to elbow stuff, but a lot of respect going on here. It's still Curtis Wright just that has it, from James Shaw, Daniel Freer, Craig Neve. That's Lee Williams just up the inside of Sam Thompson. Richie McNeil, who won that first race, is just kind of sitting back at the moment and thinking, I'm not sure if I really want to get involved in that. And then I can see further back some improvement from Chris Helliwell. Richie Connell's got off to a decent start as well. And, well, Curtis Wright at the moment is the man with the advantage as they tip into Dean Hairpin, but that looked like the Kawasaki of James Shaw trying to hang it round the outside. That would give him the inside line down into Yentwood, and it does indeed. James Shaw, talented rider from Manchester is James. This is his first full season of motorcycle racing, and as I mentioned before, he leads the pre-national 600 championship overall. That is a championship for riders that are yet to attain a national licence. So that just gives you some idea as to how well he's coming on this year. He is leading the Sportsman Elite race overall. And well, he's looking to check out by the looks of him. There he goes. Daniel Freer there in second. He'll be happy with that, of course. The overall championship leader. Craig Neve there in third. And then Curtis Wright, who got off to a great start, is just getting swallowed up a bit here. He's in 4th place on the Triumph, but he has got a train of riders just behind him. Don't look over your shoulder, Curtis. Curtis, a former GP3 championship title rival. back in the days when we had Fraser Rogers and the likes racing a few years back. One of those riders that we need to keep an eye on when we get to Anglesey next month. Curtis goes well around Anglesey. A bit further back there, you can just see the bright yellow and black machine of Chris Helliwell. He got off to a decent start. He's not had much luck this year. He's been off the bike, he's been off the pace, he's not had decent starts, but he is looking for a podium, and that's a good move from Chris. He's trying to go around the outside there and make up a place or two, and he does so. And that is Curtis Wright that he's going around. So I wonder if Curtis has run into some problems, because he's just been, but he's gone from first to down to about 7th or 8th. That's David Brooke on the red and black R6 just behind, number 73, and he now moves ahead of Curtis Wright also. So I wonder if Wright has got some issues with that triumph. David Brooke, another one of those riders that has entered the pre-national championship this year, 2nd overall. So he's having a good run out, because this is a really tough field. So Curtis Wright there, running into some real trouble. Oh, and the race leader's down into the Brooke chicane. Oh my word. And he is livid, just like a little kid that is being basically pulled around a supermarket by his mum and told you're not getting a toy. He's thrown everything out of the pram there. I'm not surprised. That is disastrous for James Shaw. He was in control of this race and he's just lost the front end. I wonder if he decked out on the curb there. Well, a shame for James. Hopefully we'll see him a bit later on. Well, this is it for him in terms of the Sportsman Elite races, but your race leader has gone down. He's out of it. Wow. Well, this race was looking very, very good for James. He's now out. Who does that promote up into first place? I tell you what it does do. It means that Richie McNeil has got a bit of clear air, because he's got out ahead of Daniel Freer and Sam Cox, who's made headway. There's Lee Williams and Sam Thompson. Sam Thompson is looking to try and hunt down Sam Cox, because they're fighting for Superstock 600 Championship. There is Sam, up the inside of Daniel Freer. Do you know, Sam came off so quick here this weekend, and a few years ago at Rockingham, he could have ended his short career because he had a monster crash right there. A double high side. He high sided it one way, saved it, and then he lost it again. There are... Oh, and Sam Thompson has gone down now in the same place as James Shaw. What is happening here? And Sam Thompson is not happy. Well, this has left Richard McNeil out front. He takes the checkered flag. He takes 25 points. That's maximum points for Richard McNeil. He is putting his name well in the hunt for this championship, despite having missed a couple of rounds. What is going on here? Sam Cox, what a ride from Sam. After the first few laps, he was down in about 11th or 12th. He finishes 2nd overall and wins the Superstocks. Dan Freer, the championship leader overall, is 3rd. Williams 4th. David Brooke, an excellent 5th place. Chris Helliwell is on the Superstock 600 podium in 6th. Curtis Wright fell down to 7th. Richie Connell, solid 8th, ahead of Danny Osborne and Paul Charman. Well, that's the point standings. Richard McNeil, what an effort from him. He's missed 2 rounds, but he's up to 2nd overall. He may be over 100 points down, but that will come down. Freer leads overall from McNeil, Williams, Thompson, Neve and Sam Cox. Wow, some great racing then from the Van Insurer 600 Sportsman Elite. More of that to come at Anglesey in North Wales next month. But let's catch a word with the Superstock 600 winner, Sam Cox.
Winner of the Superstock 600 and 2nd overall, Sam Cox. A really good result for you there, especially after yesterday you had a crash in qualifying. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, it's been a tough weekend. I've been pretty battered and bruised. I just high-sided in qualifying, just a lapse of concentration. It's one of those things. And then, unfortunately, I had another crash in the first race this weekend, and had probably the quickest corner on the circuit. So that shook me up a bit, and I just went a bit cautious and got myself back into a rhythm for the second race. And yeah, just that race was pretty hectic. Just at the start, it could have been anyone's race, and Richard did the right thing by just getting out front and then bolting straight from the start, and I tried to do the same, and I was fortunate enough to come home in 2nd. So yeah, I'm really happy. It was a good race.
Really good result. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I would like to say thank you to AF Switchgear, Power System Partners, Nitro, Daytona Paints, Mum, Dad, Amy, my girlfriend, my brother Martin, loads of people, Buttons, Chris who does my suspension and that, and
everyone, they just did a brilliant job, and Thundersport in general, so it's a brilliant club and a brilliant place to race, thank you.
Thank you indeed, Sam. But let's catch up with the treble winner, Richie McNeil.
Winner Rich McNeil, a double win for you here this weekend. Was that a tough race though? It could have been anyone's win at the start, but you managed to pull through.
Yeah, the first 3 or 4 laps could have been anybody's race there. Just unfortunate James Shaw crashed at the last chicane, but I was actually catching him. Double win today. I actually got a win yesterday in the Formula 600 as well, so treble, really enjoyed it. It's the first time here at this track as well, so I can't wait to come back.
And what do you think to Anglesey the next round?
Anglesey, towards the end of last year I did crash on my new bike, and I think this year we're going to go with a better setup, so hopefully 3 wins there, just carry it on from here, yeah.
Definitely. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank most of all my dad, and especially Derek Young for building the engine. It's such a fast bike this year as well. I'd also like to thank RJ's Car Restoration, Nut Travel, Dialavan Removals, all my other sponsors like Daytona and Show Me Ireland for the helmets and stuff, and everybody else that sponsors me. Thanks.
Alex Heaton, the reigning Superstock 1000 champion. We've caught you for a quick interview here because we haven't seen much of you this year due to an injury at the start of the year. Can you tell us more about it?
I smashed my arm to pieces the first test of the year at Cadwell Park, and I'm just slowly getting back. I'm hoping to do a test next month to see if I can still ride. So I had one a couple of months ago and I was nowhere near. So if that all goes to plan, I'm going to try to Anglesey if I can.
Like I say, you're the reigning champion. How does it feel to be here at race meeting but not out on your bike?
Yeah, it's not very well. I've been helping Asa Webb just to try and sort of take my mind off not riding. But yeah, it's horrible going out and seeing my lap records get beat.
Well, one of your lap records has been beaten here at Rockingham by Barry Teasdale, and he's out in the next race. Join us for that in a moment. Welcome back to the final part of Thundersport Elite. The bike insurer Thundersport GP1s are on the grid. Nice to see Danny Murphy back out on the grid after that crash in race 1. John Ingram, can anyone stop him? Number 56. Phil Crowe will want to make up for that crash in race 1. Barry Teasdale, what a weekend he's having, and away we go from the lights. Terrible start for Crowe. Number 71, the 2010 champion, didn't get away well at all. Ingram it is that has the advantage through the chicane. Danny Murphy is in second place, a decent start for him. Barry Teasdale there in third place, but Phil Crowe maybe just struggling a bit after that race 1 crash down into Tarzan. There is Blake Walls just in the background, another rider that fell in race 1, and he will look to try and make up for that. There he is on the black machine, number 19, the Kawasaki Superstock rider. And Danny Murphy it is there, number 1, 2, 3, just up ahead of Phil Crowe, who has regrouped after that poor start. So these two riders, they're fighting in the championship, but they both need to stay on the saddle. I don't think they're going to do much about John Ingram out front, who has been consistently 5 or 6 tenths quicker than these guys all weekend. And as I mentioned in race 1, he needs the points because he's not going to make it out for the next race. So Phil Crowe and Danny Murphy just have to play this one sensibly. The one rider that won't be playing it sensibly, who doesn't care about all that, is Barry Teasdale just behind them, number 224, and Blake Walls, number 19. They've got a lot to win here and not a lot to lose. John Ingram goes across the line, he leads. This is the battle for second. That is Danny Murphy, the Superstock 1000 leader at the moment. He leads the points overall. Last year, he won the Sportsman Elite 600 Championship in overall and won the Superstock 600. An immensely talented rider is Danny Murphy. We'll see a lot of him in the future. The rider from Rochdale on the MPR Racing Kawasaki. And just behind him, Phil Crowe, number 71 from Market Raisin. Big Phil, 2010 Thundersport GP1 champion. He then was the runner-up in 2011, terrible year in 2012, plagued with injuries and bad luck, and this year at the moment he leads overall, but that championship points advantage he had will have dwindled down a bit after that fall from race 1. But it's Ingram that has the advantage. There you can see ahead of Murphy, Crowe, Teasdale, Blake Walls. There is John Fisher. number 92. John back with us, racing on the Pendragon Racing Suzuki, rider from Plymouth. Always good to have him out. And just behind him there, number 33, a leery coloured leathers of Nevesy, Michael Neves, number 33, picked up a trophy in race 1 and looking to do the same again here on his Park Lane BMW. Across the line then, Ingram's already passed. It's Murphy there in second, Phil Crow in third. Phil Crow was one of the riders that took part in that charity cycle race, as I mentioned. Look at the speed he carried through the chicane there, and he's going to carry the momentum. Not quite as fast on a push bike as he is on his BMW, I should just point out, as he moves up ahead of Danny Murphy. And we've got a rider out of the race there. Now, who is that? I noticed that Ryan Gibson hasn't come past on the timing screen, so I wonder if that's him. I'll keep an eye on that for you. Yes, Phil Crow here. He's having a good dust up with Danny Murphy and Barry Teasdale. He was out on his push bike. I've got to say though, he was cheating also, and an extraordinary power to weight ratio for Phil Crow on that push bike. That's a big old engine to be putting on that bike. It's a bit like having a Rolls Royce in a smart car, but he didn't do too well. Tyres burning, etc. There is Barry Teasdale, who's now got ahead of Danny Murphy. So Murphy's lost a couple of places. I just wonder whether the troubles that he was facing earlier on in the weekend with his machine has come back to haunt him again. And Barry Teasdale's hunting down Phil Crow. And Blake Walls has made some progress there as well. Blake from Bourne on the Puteline Racing Kawasaki. Another rider that fell earlier on. And he's now about to try and get tucked up into the slipstream of Danny Murphy. So John Ingram leads, Phil Crow second, Barry Teasdale third, Danny Murphy fourth there, and Blake Walls in fifth as they head around to Dean Corner. And there's another retirement from this race. Trying to get a number there for you to get some clarification. Is that... Oh, I'm not sure who that is at the moment. Can't quite see the number, but it's a rider that's pulling out of the race. Is that Shea Burton? I'll have to double check on that. They look like it may well be. There is Barry Teasdale, 224. Great weekend for him so far, catching Danny Murphy up in the points overall. He said that he didn't think he'd be able to win a 1,000 Superstock race this year. Well, he's done it now. And got a couple of circuits coming up that he likes as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the rider from the Northeast can do. There is 11th placed rider, or 12th placed rider, Rob Lelonek. Just finding his way around Rockingham for the first time this weekend. But Phil Crow there, but he can't rest. He's I wouldn't say he's in a comfortable second place. John Ingram is checked out. He's miles ahead at 24.2. That has broken the lap record that stood last year from South African rider Mike Dickinson. And Alex Heaton, who we caught up with just before the break, who's hopefully going to be back for Anglesey. His lap record of a 1:25.6 has been absolutely shattered. So Barry Teasdale at the moment, the man on the move on the Superstock 1000 bike and catching the 2010 champion Phil Crow. What a scalp to claim this would be, and that's what he'll be thinking. He already knows that he's leading Superstock 1000 race overall, but he would like to beat Phil Crow, believe me. There's Danny Murphy just ahead of Blake Walls. As we see a number of the riders, that's just riders coming out of Gracelands. There's John Fisher, number 92, currently in 7th place. 7th place. Michael Neves just up behind him, the MCN journalist, struggling to keep the front wheel down there as they then go left, right and left onto the banking and onto the start-finish straight. Here we are. Great little piece of tarmac this, as they just get themselves up there and onto the start-finish straight. But John Ingram really checked out, and in terms of some of the races that we've seen in the Bike Insurer Thundersport GP1, I'm afraid to say this is probably not one of the more entertaining ones that we've seen. We've seen some absolute corkers so far in 2013, but such a high rate of attrition this weekend has maybe robbed us of what we were expecting to see. But I'm not even sure with a full grid that anyone would be able to deal with this man at the moment. John Ingram, he came here with a plan and he's executed it perfectly. There is number 43 again, Rob Lelonek. Just currently a lap down at the moment on John Ingram, and in fact he's about to go 2 laps down. John Ingram can afford a cheeky look over his shoulder and he's already doing a wheelie. Now, I've seen riders do that before. You remember Sean Emmett, Thruxton, BSB a few years back? Yeah, he was leading the race into the final chicane, wheelied and crashed. So just be careful, John, as he cruises around Brook Chicane onto the start-finish straight, and that's it then. That's another 25 points, a big, huge stand-up wheelie for John Ingram. Job done this weekend. He wins the GP1 race here with ease, absolute ease. He will not have an easier race all season long. He takes the 25 points. Barry Teasdale did get Phil Crow in the end. An excellent performance from Barry this weekend. He takes second. Phil Crow third ahead of Danny Murphy. Blake Walls, a good fifth for him ahead of Ben Scranage, who again is surprising as how well he's doing on that night road racing Ducati. Fisher in 7th, Neavesy in 8th, Jordan Watling 9th, and Matt Late in 10th place. The points then heading into the next round, 20 points is all the advantage for Phil Crow ahead of John Ingram, who will miss the next round. Keep an eye out though for Danny Murphy and Jenny Timmuth. They will be back, make no mistake about it. And Barry Teasdale climbs to 6th. Happy faces on the podium then. The winner, Barry Teasdale. Let's hear from him again.
Second position overall, but first in your class, Barry. A brilliant race there. Just talk to us about that last lap. You were so close to Phil Crow.
It was a good battle there with Phil. We were really close on the last lap, and unfortunately he just outbraked himself going down the hairpin. So I had to take advantage, just slipped up the inside of him. And I just nicked second on the last lap.
A brilliant result for you. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, loads for this year. I've got F&G Commercials, North Scott Truck and Van, Chassis Carb, Brian Curry's in, Bob Henderson Racing as well. They've all helped us a lot this year. So.
And the overall podium, once again, the Ram smiles. John Ingram, your race winner.
And first position goes to John Ingram, a double win for you today. You must be chuffed to pieces with that. Phil Crow wasn't too far behind you, but he made a mistake on the last lap and went back to third. How was the race for you?
Yeah, I mean, what we did, the game plan was get in front and control the race from the front, and just take as little risk as possible and come away with the wins. I mean, this weekend we've done a lot of fundraising for Amy and Sarah, which regulars in the Thundersport paddock. So I've had 3 wins this weekend on the big bikes. I'd just like to dedicate my 3 wins to them too. And a special thanks to my 2 little girls. They've been helping me with the buckets and stuff, collecting, and I believe we've got a decent fund for them both to help them out while they've got this illness.
Well, that's it from The Rock. Join us again next time for Thundersport Elite when we hit North Wales at Anglesey. We'll see you there.